What's up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A new report claims that a Chinese spy ring may have reached all the way to the presidential office. Taiwan's defense minister acknowledged the cases, but did not confirm or deny any details in the report, which include claims that active duty service members filmed so-called surrender videos. Chris Gorin brings us this report.
New details of a Chinese spy ring have emerged in an exclusive new report from Taiwan's RW News. Now, I'm here outside Military Police Command. The military police are responsible for protecting military bases and other locations throughout Taiwan. Taiwan's High Court sentenced 10 people in February, including active duty military personnel, for violating national security laws by spying for China. And according to the new report, that includes 3 members of the Shilin Military Police Unit, a unit recently praised for cracking other espionage cases, and 3 sailors from important missile boat squadrons, and even a member of the unit that protects Taiwan's president. Now, the list of alleged crimes is long, but the report includes things such as the passing of documents and other sensitive information to China for money, including photos of classified information taken inside the presidential office building. But what might draw attention here are the so-called surrender videos the report claims some of these soldiers made. Now, to be clear, we have not actually seen any of these videos, but the report claims they included active duty soldiers in their uniforms inside military facilities, filming themselves waving China's national flag, saying on camera that they oppose Taiwan independence and that they would surrender if China were to ever invade. Now, we reached out to the Defense Ministry about this, and they sent us a short statement that did not confirm or deny any of the specific charges in the report, but they did acknowledge the case, saying that they are investigating and that those involved have been dismissed or disciplined, that they have taken measures to prevent leaks and protect military assets, and are taking countermeasures to prevent similar cases from occurring. Now, this case comes as Taiwan has been seeing a large increase in the number of prosecuted espionage cases in recent years. Now, all this goes to show the pervasiveness of China's espionage efforts and the difficult job the military has cut out for it. Patrick Chun, Chris Ma, and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
Prosecutors have questioned several people connected to the opposition Kuomintang over alleged recall fraud. It's just the latest in a growingly heated mass recall campaign against dozens of Taiwanese lawmakers that has been plagued by lawsuits and investigations. Leslie Liao has more.
Authenticity is the name of the game in Taiwan's mass legislator recall movement. Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party and the opposition Kuomintang are locked in a tense campaign to remove each other's lawmakers. Part of that process involves collecting signatures from the public to officially petition the government to initiate a vote to remove legislators from office. But it seems authorities have found problems with the validity of some of those signatures. In the past 2 days, prosecutors have questioned several people connected to the KMT over allegedly fraudulent signatures on petitions. Among them are members of the party's youth league. This comes after allegations that the names of deceased people have showed up on recall petitions targeting DPP lawmakers, including one against the party's Legislative Caucus Secretary General Wu Siyao. Wu has attributed blame to KMT leadership, including party chair Eric Zhu.
不要藏起来，朱立伦不要躲在年轻人的身后。
One of the people brought in for questioning works for KMT legislator Luo Ziqiang's office. Luo, who is also targeted in the mass recall campaign, said the investigation was politically motivated.
民进党全面歼灭在野党计划已经正式启动。对民进党对赖清德喊话：不要找我团队的麻烦，要清算冲着罗志强来。
This saga seems far from over. According to the Central Election Commission, or CEC, of the 61 recall petitions it received, 41 potentially contain falsified or the so-called ghost signatures. It has reported all of them to prosecutors for further probing. When asked about this, CEC Chair Li Jinyong didn't reveal if those are campaigns against the KMT or the DPP, but emphasized the commission has treated all recall petitions equally.
我们也希望大家能够以此为鉴，因为第二阶段的联署目前还在进行当中，我们希望大家都要共同遵守法律的规定。
The rest, Lee said, the CEC will leave up to judicial authorities. Klein Wang and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Amid looming chip tariffs from U.S. President Donald Trump, California-based tech firm AMD has unveiled its latest processor using Taiwanese cutting-edge technology. Companies big and small are working to keep business going amid the changing situation. Joyce Zhen reports.
Uncertainty over Washington's tariff policy continues, with U.S. President Donald Trump pledging specific tariffs on sectors like chips and pharmaceuticals soon. For American tech firm AMD, it's moving forward with its business plans, revealing its next-gen chip, codenamed Venice, which uses Taiwanese chip giant TSMC's 2-nanometer process technology, the most advanced on the market so far. The tech is scheduled to hit mass production this year, only in Taiwan. Speaking to university students in Taipei, AMD's CEO Lisa Su reiterated Taiwan's key role in American chip innovation.
From a United States standpoint, I think we do rely on a lot of the Taiwan manufacturing ecosystem, and trying to build resilience into that ecosystem is important.
Chips have so far been exempted from Trump's sweeping so-called reciprocal tariffs, a policy that caused days of market turmoil. That policy, impacting a slew of countries, including Taiwan, now paused for 90 days for negotiations. Just days ago, a U.S. customs notice also exempted key consumer electronics from the levy, sending a wave of relief over the tech sector. Trump's team then backtracking on those exclusions. Taiwan, which has already had its first talk with the U.S., says it's keeping an open mind.
我们现在谈判的态度就是我们采取任何议题都可以谈，但是我们基于国家最高的利益以及产业界能够维持它的国际竞争力两项原则，跟美方做所有的接触。
Trump's inconsistent policy potentially damaging to the U.S.'s credibility in negotiations.
It hurts the talks, honestly. The thing that everyone will want to talk about is commitments. They want clarity. And at this point, we are not seeing clarity from this administration. So it's hard for, let's say, a leader like President Lai to have his team come to Washington and say, look, we're willing to give you all these things, but for what end?
For firms in Taiwan, the now paused tariff Trump imposed on the country's goods was shocking.
32% on Taiwan. Were you expecting that number at all?
Of course not.
Here at Planet Technology, Chair and CEO Jack Chen says they're one of the lucky ones. His company makes devices for internet connectivity, like routers, and the U.S. only accounts for about 10% of his global business. They also fall under the category of electronics recently exempted from tariffs according to U.S. Customs. But with no guarantee of how long that will last, Chen is still making plans around the uncertainty.
Well, you know, the tariff is not controlled by ourselves. We only can follow. We have to keep ourselves always in continuing in the R&D commitment to development the more and more innovative, latest technology into the market. That's what we can do. But in other way, we have to think about to find other opportunity apart from the United States.
Chen says his U.S. customers are more like partners, as their business relationships have taken years to build. That's now threatened by the tariffs, which are likely to turn into added costs for his U.S. clients.
As policies coming out of the White House flip back and forth and negotiations are still underway, businesses are focusing on the few things that are certain, like the need to diversify away from the U.S., despite it being the world's largest consumer market. Andy Xue and Joyce Zhen in New Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
A retired U.S. four-star General Robert Abrams is rumored to be advising Taiwan's largest annual military war games. The news has sparked a lot of interest here in local media, but Taiwan's military is downplaying the speculation. It says exchanges with the U.S. are nothing new and are part of its regular annual planning. Hameo Khan has more.
These are images taken of Taiwan's largest computerized war game. For 2 weeks, the country's most senior military leaders are gathering in secret and simulating all aspects of their plan to defend the country against an attack from China.
Maybe one computer. We're going to have to start.
But local media are now speculating that a retired four-star general from the U.S. is also part of this group, serving as a consultant to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Responding to the rumors, Taiwan's Defense Ministry says that military exchanges between Taiwan and the United States are carried out normally according to annual plans. They're maintaining consistency and won't be commenting on individual cases. While the U.S. and Taiwan do not have official ties, Washington does provide weapon systems and training to Taipei to support Taiwan's overall defense strategy.
Almost all of the retired general and flag officers today will have had meaningful leadership experience in Iraq and Afghanistan. Again, this is not the first time that delegations of U.S. military officers, retired and active duty, or diplomats or scholars have gone to Taiwan. My sense is that they have been saying the same basic things for many, many years. As I have argued elsewhere, these haven't really resulted in changes.
Over the past 3 years, Taiwan has been reforming its defense strategy, stepping up its training in quality and quantity. In the past 12 months, Taiwanese soldiers were spotted in Oklahoma training on U.S. weapon systems. And 2 months ago, a name tag of a representative of the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command was seen next to Taiwan's defense minister during a high-level defense meeting. And now, if the U.S. has in fact sent this former general to advise on Taiwan's war games, analysts here say it could be a key step in helping both sides align their strategies in the event of a conflict.
担任总长顾问的话，他当然能够全程的来观察这个总长他面临各种处境或者是他处置的状况，那可能会比以前担任观察员看得要全面要深入，可以提供很多联合作战的概念跟想法。
Taiwan has been boosting its arsenal and buying billions of U.S. dollars worth of U.S. weapons to prepare for a possible conflict with China. Many of these systems have already started to be delivered. But analysts say weapons supply and training from the U.S. doesn't indicate Washington's level of support for Taiwan if it were attacked.
So I think we are seeing serious improvements. I do think it is important to put context around all of this, which is to say that at the end of the day, I don't know that this indicates a clear American commitment, because a decision like that in a crisis still rests entirely with the President of the United States.
The computer games are expected to continue until April 18th, and live fire exercises are scheduled for the beginning of July. With continued U.S. assistance, Taiwan's goal is to create an effective defense, ensuring its strategy is fully tested and able to withstand whatever aggression it might face. Luffy Lee and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
President Lai Ching-te is expressing condolences over the death of former U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Richard Armitage, who had been a strong supporter of Taiwan in Washington. Armitage served as Deputy Secretary of State from 2001 to 2004, visiting Taiwan several times and advocating for its importance on the world stage. In a statement mourning Armitage's death, Lai called him a true friend of Taiwan and acknowledged his contributions to strengthening U.S.-Taiwan ties. Armitage last visited Taiwan in May 2024 to attend Lai's inauguration. He died on Sunday, aged 79. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow us on social media for more of our stories. Finally, take a look at the thousands of people in Bangladesh celebrating the first day of the Bengali year 1432. I'm Yvonne Yang. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
I'm Tiffany Wong in Kuala Lumpur, and you're watching TaiwanPlus.